I used to be the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister of Israel. I told him, I've been to Tunisia many times. You know who Mr. Zarouk is? We did the change. We actually caused the change in Sudan. Mrs. Qarui was there too. Ghazi was there. We had an interesting conversation. Incompetent and, sorry to say, also stupid. There were two contracts, by the way. Nabeel and Salwa Qarui trust account came straight from there, 150,000. It's provable. The wife made it. It was made only last week, by the way, after they demanded that thing. Chief lawyer of the United States Justice Department, Farah, calls. We're trying to help everybody right now in Tunis to get out of the mess by bringing in the Americans, trying to work everything out. And again, we're not doing it for money. We're not doing it for anything. We're trying to clear the mess. I can help him with the Muslim Brotherhood, and it would be good to create a coalition. We presented it to him, and he said it's a good idea because this will stabilize Tunisia if we do a coalition that would have both
Do you know Mr. Nabeel Qarui face to face? Do you know Mr. Nabeel Qarui face to face?
We were invited to go see him by himself through a middleman that lives in Canada. We spent 2 days. When I say we, I mean my assistant and myself, Demi. She was there with me. We spent 2 days with him. We were staying at the Four Seasons Hotel in Tunisia. And then the first day we met him at a house that he said it's his business center, very nice house on the beach in Tunis. And basically, he was sure, 100% sure that he was going to win the election and he's going to become president. And he wanted to hire us, not for the election. He wanted to hire us to help him create a new Tunisia, according to him. When I first met him the first day, he was very emotional because he said the anniversary of his son's death was coming up. It was close by and thing. And then his brother was there and his team of people were there. We had a very nice conversation. We spent hours together talking about the possibilities of creating his presidency as a peace presidency in the region. He wanted us to put together the warring sides in Libya to bring to Tunis. And he wanted to call it create a peace center in Tunis after his son's name. His brother was also there, very emotional about the matter, and they said, if anybody can do it, you guys can do it. And we were talking then about doing a meeting between the two warring sides in Libya and Moscow with the supervision of President Putin. He said, why can't we, because he was so sure that he was going to win in the first round, why can't we wait and bring them here and invite President Putin to come? That's on the one side of it. On the other side of it, he wanted to get Tunisia out of the French orbit and bring it into the orbit of the United States. He was an Anglophone. He spoke English. His brother spoke English. The people he worked with spoke English. Okay, this was the first. This is to set how the meetings started. It was very emotional, very practical, very interesting thing. But right off the bat, he says, I do not have the right people. The people around me are not very good. I told him, I've been to Tunisia many times. Tunisian people are very smart, very educated. I'm sure we can find a whole team to help you. And that was his thing. And he was impatient to get started. And we were talking about very different subjects that we can work with. That was the first day. Second day, we were invited to his house for dinner. Demi and I were there. That's the day the first contract was signed. There were two contracts, by the way.
Il y a un contrat signé par M. Nabeel directly?
No, let me explain. The first contract, he wanted it with our UK affiliate. We have a company in England that works with us. It was signed by me, and not by me. It was signed by our UK director on the one side, and by Mr. Yusuf Zarrouk on the other side, who was there with him at the house. They were all together there. You know who Mr. Zarrouk is?
Yes.
Okay. And that was the first contract. Anyway, it was a very pleasant evening. We even had the best, very good sushi. Mrs. Qarui was there too. Ghazi was there. We had an interesting conversation. The first contract was signed there, and it called for a payment of $1 million. The first contract is exactly a mirror of the contract that was published. Now, we'll get into detail, I think. And the evening finished only because I had to go with them to the airport. We had a 2:10 a.m. Air France flight to Paris. So we had to leave. So the evening was very long, very interesting, and he was talking of his vision of Tunisia after he becomes president. And he was sure that on the first round he will win. And he showed me the polls at the time. There were 34% for him, and the closest one was 16% behind. But I also explained to him that Tunisia, in my view, is also a conservative country, and I used the word, you should be more Muslim or traditional, yes? But you have to have young people around you, people that know things, but you should also be more traditional, because Tunisia is a traditional country. He approached us, we believe, he also said so, because we have consultancy agreements in Sudan and in Libya. But in Sudan, it was very interesting. At the time, he said, you showed how successful you were in Sudan, because we did the change. We actually caused the change in Sudan. Okay. Anyway, so we got to know each other closely over 2 days, and then after I came back to Montreal, there was at least 6-7 times a day talking on the phone back and forth here with him over things, and he kept on, and he wouldn't say why on the phone. He said, I want you back in the next 2-3 days. I agreed, okay, no problem. As I was in the airport in Trudeau, about to leave to Tunisia, I got a call saying he was arrested. Please don't come today. Okay, fine. But Demi did go a day later. I wanted her to see what's going on. Yeah, did go a day later. Now, next thing that occurred, we said that we could help him in the United States right now, but to do this, we have to show some sort of payment and so on and so forth. First of all, is through his lawyer and through the middleman, they said, please take the contract and put it under your name, because it's to make it more thing, which we agreed to. But since he was in jail, they found a gentleman, they said he's his representative that will sign the contract by... Yeah, that's correct. They said they will sign it, no problem.
Est-ce que Mohamed Bouderbel est un Tunisien?
Sorry?
Is Tunisian man, Mohamed Bouderbel?
Is he a Tunisian?
Yes, he is a Tunisian man, they said. I never met him. But he is a Tunisian man. And they said he is his representative just because he's in jail. He'll sign the contract. Okay.
Est-ce que vous avez rencontré M. Mohamed Bouderbel?
No, I've never met him. Okay. Then, after the contract was exchanged, they demanded that that we register the contract and start working in the United States right away. Now, we explained to them that there's $1 million payment there, and it isn't because of the money. It was because there's a U.S. law that says if there's a amount, you have to register it with the government and so on and so forth. They called back and said, They don't have the money. And I remind everybody that on the first day when after meeting them, I told Demi privately that these guys don't have any money, and it's nonsense that he's a billionaire and this and that and thing. It's all nonsense. But he's very charismatic. He can change Tunisia. We can help him change Tunisia for the better, and he can westernize Tunisia with a Muslim character. I keep on repeating that thing. Now, and also, he was worried about the fact that I'm originally from Israel, and I explained this to everybody. Yes, I used to be the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister of Israel, but I broke with them off because after the Oslo peace process, which I was the author of, one of the authors of, they didn't go along with a peace deal with the Palestinians, so I left. Okay, but I have nothing to do with the Israeli government, or neither does this company.
Oui, oui, il savait dès le début cet espoir.
Sorry?
Mr. القروي, c'est que Mr. Ali, il a travaillé avec le service secret, c'est tout, M. القروي, dès le début.
Yeah.
Oui, oui, je comprends.
Okay. And we really were excited to help him change the face of Tunisia. And okay, what they did is they agreed. They said, we have 250,000 to send so you can register. I said, no problem. Send. We'll accept it. We'll go ahead.
Est-ce qu'il a payé?
They paid 250,000 in 3 payments to our lawyer in the United States. Him. He happens to be here. He didn't come for you. He was here for
Another meeting.
another meeting. Okay. But he's our lawyer in the United States. And he's also takes the money. He registered the contract with the United States Department of Justice in a unit called FARA. Okay? The second contract, and they demanded they demanded that it becomes public immediately. They demanded it down from Tunis.
Qui a demandé que le contrat soit public?
Who demanded the contract?
The lawyer and one of his financial people.
C'est la loi. Il faut qu'il soit public.
De toute façon,
Ouais.
Okay. And the last time I saw the lawyer was last week in Paris. Which day was it in Paris? I don't remember, but it was last week in Paris. And they were very happy. They said, you should move quickly and thing and so on and so forth. The idea now was to get him an invitation to come to the United States to meet important people in the United States, because that would create pressure to let him out of jail. Suddenly, out of the blue, after all this was being done, everything was moving well, they start, this contract is a fraud. This contract never existed. No contract existed. We don't know who Dickens and Matson is.
Photoshop contract.
Yeah, whatever, fraud. The first thing that happened is the chief lawyer of the United States Justice Department, Farah, calls. And they know us for many years, so. And we went through everything with them. They said, okay, thank you. They said, apparently, when the contract became public, they freaked out. How do you say freaked out in French? Freaked out. They didn't know how, the people around him did not know how to handle it. And I reminded everybody, all the people around him were incompetent. He put a team together quickly because he thought at the time he didn't have time, but they were completely incompetent and, sorry to say, also stupid. By lying like this, they shot themselves in the foot by doing all this. Lying. And I'm really sorry about this because I would like to help him, and we're still working on helping him in the United States. And I told everybody today, they still keep on calling, yes? I told everybody today that if they stop the nonsense, we will continue helping, we will help, and hopefully we might even get a result, okay? But they have to behave, tell the truth, I think, and no matter what the Tunisian government is going to do to them, I think now that the U.S. government is fully aware of what's going on, the truth is the only protection they can have. And the payments were made. I didn't go into the Nabeel Karoui, Nabeel and what's the name of
Salwa.
Yeah, Nabeel and Salwa Karoui trust account came straight from there, 150,000. It's provable. The wife made it. It was made only last week, by the way, after they demanded that thing.
Il a reçu de l'argent récemment de la famille Caroui. La semaine passée. De nom de qui a payé, c'est ça? Qui a payé. Alors votre relation n'est pas tendue. La relation entre M. Caroui et votre compagnie n'est pas vraiment. Il n'y a pas eu une chicane, même s'il n'a pas.
Sorry?
Alors la relation, il est encore en cours. Vous n'avez pas rupturé la relation.
You haven't ruptured the relationship with them. You're still on an ongoing relationship with them.
You know why we're doing this? We're continuing the relationship. We're trying to help everybody right now in Tunis to get out of the mess by bringing in the Americans, trying to work everything out. And again, we're not doing it for money. We're not doing it for anything. We're trying to clear the mess. And I hope we'll be able to help.
Il est maintenant en prison et il
Yes.
reste comme quelques jours pour le second.
Sorry?
He's still in prison. There are a few days left before the second round.
I know, but it isn't a thing. If the Americans will put enough pressure,
Il va être libéré.
we're looking, things could change.
Est-ce que vous avez travaillé pour ça, pour que les Américains font de la pression sur les Tunisiens pour qu'ils le libèrent, par exemple?
Did you work with
Sorry?
the Americans to put pressure on the Tunisians to free Mr. Karoui?
Also to free him, because without freeing him, it would not be a fair election, but also to help clean the mess up. Not me, the American government together with the Tunisian government. And we're trying to do that. We did not cut the relationship. There's nothing really positive for the company, but we would like, yes, it would be positive if Tunisia comes out of this okay.
Est-ce que vous avez reçu de demandes par d'autres partis tunisiens?
Sorry?
Did you receive any requests from the other Tunisian parties?
No, we did not. And even if we would have, we would have refused them. Because, but I want to say something which is very interesting. Even the first day I met him, I explained to him that I could help him with the Muslim Brotherhood, and it would be good to create a coalition with them.
Est-ce que vous avez le pouvoir de faire ça?
Do you have the power to do that?
I have connections in the Muslim Brotherhood movement, yes. And especially the one that starts in Sudan. Okay, just so you know. Okay. But we presented it to him, and he said it's a good idea because this will stabilize Tunisia if we do a coalition that would have both things. And he was sure, 100%, that he would win on the first round.
Maintenant, les islamistes, dans les législatives, ils ont pris 57 sièges. Mr. القروي, 40 sièges le deuxième.
Yeah.
Pensez-vous qu'une
It
coalition
is, yes, it is possible, and it would be good, because there will be the traditional side of Tunisia, plus the more progressive Western side too. It will make both sides workable, happy.
Est-ce que vous allez pousser vers ça?
Sorry?
You're going to push towards that.
We have to see what happens with him first, and what happens with the United States position first, before we push that. But the Americans know about the position, and they're happy with it. They're happy with it because that always works in that region, because people are traditional, but also there are many young people that want to go out west, so you have a balance of the two things. Yes, and I really hope that we can help. And any other questions?
Vous avez travaillé en Libye, par exemple. Est-ce que Mr. القروي, il était derrière ça? Il y avait des connexions pour que vous entriez en Libye?
Sorry?
No. You worked in Libya. Was Mr. القروي also involved with that? And did he have connections and pushed you
No,
in Libya?
no, not at all. He hired us because he knew we were working in Libya, and he knew we were working in Sudan. But he was not yet involved, no.
Est-ce que vous avez un mot pour le peuple tunisien qui va voter après 5 jours?
Do you have a word for the Tunisian people who will vote in 5 days?
I tell everybody, you have to vote your conscience, but if Nabeel Karoui will be president, he'll be a very good president. I believe so. From the times that we met him. I'm not doing a propaganda thing for him, but But I believe he could be a good president if he replaces all the team around him. The team around him are completely incompetent and, sorry to say, stupid as well. I don't use that word lightly. And they all have to be removed. And he mentioned it to me on the first day we met. And I explained to these young people who are smart, they're educated, we can look for young people from both sides of the thing. There's no problem. But I don't know how he was able to, he picked one after the other that are thing.
Merci pour l'interview. C'était le peuple tunisien. Il attend que vous parlez. Enfin, maintenant que vous avez parlé, il va connaître beaucoup de choses. Parce qu'il y avait des choses ambiguës, floues, des dits, des contredits. Maintenant, je crois que la réalité elle est là. Et chacun va choisir qu'est-ce qu'il veut et le président qu'il veut.
Thank you very much. Okay.